All right, this game's called Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's another awesome game idea. This one comes from David Eisenberg. You can use it throughout the grades K to 8. You'll need cones, foam balls, and word cards or math cards, depending if you want to do literacy or numeracy. And there's an infinite amount of ideas. Thanks again to David. I played it with my students. It was awesome. They loved it. They had a lot of fun. So we'll take a look at how this works. So to start, you're going to have to create some little cards, so out of paper or cardboard, whatever you want to use. And we're going to do a math example. This is the example that I use with my classes. So you're going to make two-digit addition and subtraction problems, and you make a bunch of these cards, actually anywhere from 50 to 100 of them, and then when the game, or before the game starts, you're going to place them all around the floor. You can have kids help you with that if you want. And if you don't want to do math examples, you could do sports word themes, so hockey, tennis. You could put a bunch of those words down according to whatever sport. Vowel sounds, you could do words if you want to practice vowel sounds, work with the classroom teachers and find what they're working on. Cities in your states or province or geography, whatever you want. So we'll see some of these examples in a bit here. Math equations, which we see, and anatomy is another example, and so on and so forth. So many different examples. All right, and we're playing Guardians of the Two-Digit Addition and Subtraction Galaxy in this example. So that's sort of the name of the game for today. And it's going to be a relay style, and 3 players is the perfect amount. You could do it with 2 per team or 4 per team. I wouldn't have it any more than 4 per team, but 3 is just great. And you'll have as many teams as you have for students of groups of 3. And then behind each group, you're also going to have a poster card with a larger piece of paper, or you could put tape on the floor, however you want to do it. And then you have some answer categories. So in our example, I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Those would be all the answers. So all the cards you pre-made, so the 50 to 100 cards, all of those sums or the results have to add up to one of those numbers, and you of course make whatever one you want yourself. So in an example, if a kid grabbed a card 10 plus 10, they would bring it and place it on the 20. So I'll show you that gameplay in a second here. If you're doing states or provinces, so here we have a bunch of states: Florida, California, Texas, New York, etc. And then you have a whole bunch of cities that you would put on the cards. And so we have Austin, which was found on the card, and it would be placed on the Texas. If you do this with vowel sounds, you have your vowel sounds there, and then a bunch of different words as your cards. So if a kid collected an up, then they would put it down on the short U vowel sound, so on and so forth. Just a bunch of examples here, depending on what you want to do. All right, now we're getting to the gameplay. So before the game starts, you're going to choose one of the teams. So these 3 players from purple, they are going to be the guardians. So they're guarding the two-digit addition and subtraction cards. So those are the guardians. Each guardian gets a foam ball to tag with. They're not going to throw the ball at players, but they're going to tag the players as they're trying to get the cards. So I think you're understanding where this is going. We're going to look at just one group here, so we've taken the other ones away, but you can imagine that all groups will be doing the same thing at the same time. On the go signal, the first person in the line goes, runs, tries to grab a card. If a player is tagged, then they have to simply return back to their team without a card, and then when they get back, the next player goes. If a player gets a card and safely returns with a card, then they quickly do the math or whatever, they try and find the answer. They'll place it down on the appropriate spot. The other player would have already gone by now. As soon as they get back, the next player can go. And if a player grabs a card and is tagged while they have a card, so we see they got tagged there. You might also want to put a line in. I know I did. I used a line where if students are past that line, they're safe. They can't get caught, so the taggers can't go past the line. So this player was tagged within that boundary, so it has to drop the card and return. And so the game just continues on. So those are different scenarios, and I think 3 to 5 minutes per round is a good amount to do. And then once the time is over, then everyone goes back and sees which team has the most cards or whatever you want to do with that, and then you play a new round. And on the subsequent round, so now you choose a different team who would go and be the guardians, and you go on and on like that. And like I said, a lot of different variations, a lot of actually moving parts to this game. Kids had so much fun, yeah, and get some extra practice with your math, which we know kids need these days, or whatever with their spelling or their grammar or states, geography, science, whatever you want. And thanks again, David. A very neat idea. If you've enjoyed this game, please subscribe for more games and visit PhysEdGames.com.